随着哪吒2的票房一路飙升，话题不断，越来越多的外国博主都去看了这部电影，纷纷发了视频表达自己的感受，也有不少外国网友进行了评论。
This is worth a big screen experience. I was able to see this earlier today with a large group of people, so fairly popular in the States as well. And let me tell you, the theater was excited. I was fairly blown away by, and we'll start here, the visuals of this film, which I believe, and granted, I saw this on a big screen, I saw the first at home. The visual upgrade is notable. This is some of the most stunning animation I have ever seen on the big screen. And I'm not just speaking in hyperbole, which is very easy to do when you enter a bubble that you're very new to. It's like when you get invited to a party with the cool kids for the first time. It's like, I've never been here before. Of course, I'm going to be overly excited. So yes, I'm excited to now talk about this movie that so many other people outside of America are talking about. And hopefully, more critics, reviewers in America get the chance to see because of those stunning visuals that just are so striking on the big screen.
This film was so below my radar, I literally didn't know it existed until a week ago. When a mate of mine was like, hey, have you heard about this film that's gonna literally become the highest grossing animated film of all time? And it's probably like on track right now to become the highest grossing film ever? As of recording, this film has made $1.7 billion. And so obviously, this piqued my interest. I was like, I gotta go check out this little indie darling right now in cinemas, because it needs my support. I went to see this movie within about 5 minutes. I was quite charmed and smitten with this movie. And then about 20 minutes in, I suddenly realized I was not emotionally or physically ready for what was about to happen. Quite simply put, if we exclude Shrek 2, this is the single greatest animated film ever made. This is the most surprising, overwhelmingly exciting cinema experience I have had in years. This is the type of film that reminds me of why I love storytelling and particularly filmmaking. The score is so majestic and beautiful. The visuals are awe-inspiring. The lore and the world building is so exciting and unique. And it's so funny and cool and just awesome. So much of this film, I was just like looking at the screen in utter disbelief. The amount of times that something would just happen, like 3 to 4 times in every single scene in this movie, I would just be like, what? What? Like, I have seen so many films over so many years, but it is a special type of film that reminds you of the limitless potential of storytelling. And I particularly do love the things and the genres in this film. I love fantasy, I love magic, I love superheroes, and this film is very action heavy, adventure heavy. There's a bunch of magical, mystical, spiritual stuff going on. And so if you love that kind of stuff, this film is for you. If you don't really kind of go for that kind of stuff, usually I think this film does enough new, fresh things that'll make you appreciate those genres even if they're not your favorite. I absolutely love seeing superheroes and magic and fantasy stuff play out in live action. I really, really, truly do. But sometimes and often, the budget or just the technical aspects of filmmaking, like the CGI or just practical elements that do have a limits the creativity. Whereas this type of film, this type of animated film reminds you that when you're doing animation, the limit is your, oh my god, this is ridiculously cheesy and cliche, but the limit is your imagination and your creativity. And apparently, according to this guy, this director who made this film, that limit doesn't exist. Limitless potential and possibilities, and I was just so impressed by the absolutely bafflingly, excitingly fresh and cool and unique ways that they would do things I've seen a million times before. Like, there were so many moments in this film where something would happen and I'd be like, yeah, I've kind of seen like this thing play out before, and then within 5 seconds I'm like, what? Never like that! And then it would just keep topping itself and topping itself. This film has such a flow and a momentum and a kinetic energy that is just so infectious to your soul. I've never watched a film in a cinema and wanted to stand up out of my seat and just cheer and hoot and holler like I'm watching a sports game. It was crazy. It has such a fiery, exciting energy to it that is just electric.